Well, salutations, everybody. Second attempt at this one, so we'll see how the crack ends up working, because, of course, it wouldn't end up working first time round, and a complete system reset was needed, because nothing ends up going right when you want it to. But it's another fabulous day to end up having a bit of crack here at the crack, at the fun, at the stream. Sure, why the hell not? To bounce, it is a pleasure to see you. How is your Wednesday treating you? Now we will experiment and see if things will end up breaking, considering the last time I clicked this button, it was showcasing my ugly mug coming across, and then I ended up doing the swap over, and my ugly mug ended up being completely absent. So, 3, 2, 1... My ugly mug is still apparent. Oh my god, miracles do exist. Some people end up turning around stating that that is a terror more than a miracle. But hey, the crack is alive and here for your pleasure. How is your Wednesday treating you, my friend? Are you getting up to anything saucy? Anything nice? Anything interesting? Anything beautiful? It's a pleasure to have you in. Getting close now to that wonderful period of time known as Christmas. You will not be finding me playing Christmas tunes on this stream unless you are an insanely devious wanker and decide to end up putting in a song request. Mariah Carey in of itself. But other than that, the crack shall be 90, and we'll see what ends up happening. Ooh, not too bad. What are you having for dinner? We do have a rule, and I need to actually put in a command for rules, but we do typically have a rule in the chat that if someone mentions dinner, they have to post an image of it in attacking the food section of the Discord. But to be fair, for you, I'll give you a special disconception, my friend. So, are you having anything nice to eat today? In Crack's basement, we have a version known as attacking the food. Last time we ended up going on to this stream, we ended up having a 3-hour stream and got one match in. This time, we're actually going to start with a match, so we're grand that way. Senior Duck, it's a pleasure to have you in with your 7 days continuous watching the stream, you insane maniac. But it's a pleasure to have you in, my friend. How is life treating you today? Is it all going good? Is it all going grand? Is it all going spicy, my friend? How is life treating you? Ashday, you've come in to end up having a good bit of crack with us as well, just as we get ourselves prepared for our first friendly game versus the mighty Ajax. Really? Okay, we'll do this for now. And then just go unavailable or on loan there. Coolaboola. A quackalacken. Ooh, pun. I quite enjoy that, a quackalacken. We'll have to continue to do that, Senior Quacks. How has your day been treating you anyway? Ducky, has it all been good? Has it all been grand? Have you gotten up to anything exciting throughout the entirety of your day? Dog was there. Cooley, we're as well have him on the bench for this game as opposed to Bradley. That's effectively the team we play. Yep. So, let's change our actual squad. It did get an update. It's no longer as buggy, Ashday. Would you believe that the bug that crashes the game that I showcased with the in-game editor is no longer there? So you can actually use the in-game editor and it not completely destroy itself into 10 shades of fecal matter. So that's a nice little change for them to have put into place. Other than that, everything is pretty fine. I haven't looked into detail into what the changes are, so it will be interesting to see what they are as we continue to go on, if we notice any of them. If anything exciting is there throughout what ends up going on. But it's nice that they've ended up implementing a couple of changes. Nice that they're listening and know that the fan base was upset with the problems that were being showcased. So at least they're listening, and that's something at least. And they've confirmed that they're still going to continue with the development of the game and ensure that there actually is more changes being put into place. And that's the most you can ask for any particular crew to end up doing as well, which is quite nice. You're soon going to end up getting your laptop, so you'll be able to experience how good and how grand and how delicious the game is as well. So how is the actual processing going for you, Senior Duck? Because for those of you that don't know, Senior Duck has implemented one of his previous saves. I believe his Shamrock Rovers save from FM23 over into FM26 has over 2 million players in it. And he has been progressing true to it now. So it's interesting to hear how the game handles that level of activity. So is it functioning at all possible for you, Duck, or is it collapsing under its own weight? Great. At least they are listening and fixing things little by little. Yes. And I mean, the other good thing to end up stating about the game, too, is even though it is still ranked as one of the most negatively reviewed games in all of Steam history, it's not losing players. In terms of the actual usage basis, it's continuing to end up getting people playing it. And in terms of streaming, it's increasing its numbers here on Twitch as well. 6.3 thousand people playing it. No, Duck, it's not really that it's a sore throat, just exhaustion more than anything else. And me trying to maintain a level of goodness. One good cough will get it out of the system for the most part, you know. I'd be careful. Actually, considering you have it loaded in, one of the questions I end up asking is can you implement the women's
league into the save, Senior Duck? No, I'm fine actually. It's one of those days. Been talking a lot, and the voice is going well, and Senior Duck decides to make me, more meaty, more machismo. Because why not? Let's end up talking with deepness, with anger in our eyes as we go into our game versus Amanda's own Ajax. I won't brew ballsy for 2.5 hours like I did yesterday, and we'll go straight into a game now. We've pretty much a main team to start this match. 2 new defensive options playing there. Our player from Wolves Godot, and we just signed Ilya from PSG. We're gonna Kenneth Taylor as their captain. There's no real option for us to get Kenneth Taylor, but we'll keep an eye on him. O2 if he ends up coming on as someone we need to pay attention to.
But with all that being said, let's get into the fray. First game now coming in after the new patch. Will it all end up being good? We can't get any motivation out of them because, of course, we can't. First game of the preseason. Well, first proper game of the preseason. We did have a game versus Barcelona, but that's because I ended up putting that into play. We lost against them, but we should do grand here. Evan Ferguson up front, Marcus Rashford back on the left-hand side. Our two new defenders being played there now in Jordo and Iliax. So let's see how we end up doing. It is Jordo, isn't it? No, Joan Godot and then Ilya Zabrani. So we'll see what ends up happening. Hopefully it all ends up working well. And additional to that, we have a bid put in for Willie Kwambala. So we might actually have signed 3 new defenders. Whether that's a bit overkill, but at the same point in time, we'll try and end up selling Maguire and some of the other ones as well. We did sell Lucha, which is one of the reasons why we went so deep into looking for defenders. Okay start so far where we're getting into this. They're playing an injured striker, which is an interesting choice. I hate playing players that are, fitness points of view. They're not injured, but their fitness is a bit down. I hate doing it because there's too much chance of getting actually proper injured, and then you get long-term injuries. FM24, if you put someone that still had the fitness tag in them, you could end up having them injured for almost 6 months. Also, beautiful goal by Brian Mbeumo and Kobe Manu. Look at this passing play. This is what you want to see. I know it's just Ajax of the Eredivisie, but you need to end up going from somewhere and connecting up the play like that and having a good tissue connecting together, especially considering Manu playing as the DM and still getting the strike in, is a beauty to end up seeing. Oh, excuse me. You know, the bounce, if you are lurking in the background and actually hearing this, we do need to end up setting up a stream at some point in time to do Dark and Darker. I haven't actually been playing it much myself in the last wee bit of time, but we do need to end up doing that again in the near future. Just for the gish, because why not? I will end up diversifying a bit more later on into other games if we can do. Also, beautiful. I know we're basically playing tennis ball there with a hopscotch of a click to a click to a click to a click. Like pass in from Stellar to Bruno, header over to Evan Ferguson, who headers it in. But at the end of the day, you get what you can and go what you want. I am not sure what you're referring to with the Freerun cosplay, but if I ended up having the magical powers of Freerun and was as strong as an ancient elf such as her, I would be an incredibly happy man. You know, there was I was watching a Critical Drinker video there the other day where he ended up talking about the production hell process of Groundhog Day and how Groundhog Day was basically came up from someone reading an old French book about the concept of immortality and how boring it would be to be immortal. Because eventually you'd just end up seeing things going down. You'd lose the people around you and things wouldn't end up changing. But I always loved the idea of what DC ended up doing with that, where you have Vandal Savage, who has more money than God, because of course he would. Why wouldn't he? He's been alive since the start of creation. He's been there since all forms of currency ended up coming. Why wouldn't he have more money than God? And literally is evil just because he's bored at being good. Like, it's an amazing concept when you end up thinking about it. Now, Vandal Savage is sometimes written with actual culture when it comes down to it as well. He's probably my favorite DC villain, Vandal Savage, just because the concept itself is beautiful. Like, you see it in a number of things as well. It's kind of the situation with the gods in D&D as well, where they're just wrong so long that they just end up seeing things. Similar vibes to the Immortal from Invincible. Yeah, because you would get sad because you've lost all of the people around you. You've seen all of the injustices of man and seen humanity continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Like Vandal Savage in the DC movie War where they rip off a different DC comic. It's one of the original showcases of Batman using the plans against the Justice League. It also has an infamous cut scene of Kevin Conroy going through all of Batman's plans. You have a list of every single plan he has for every single Justice League member. But Vandal Savage's plan in that movie is literally just to move the rays of the sun in order to wipe out a quarter, or to wipe out the entirety of the world, so there's only a quarter of the people left. Because screw it, why not? The humanity needs a reset. He's as well initiated with him being king again. You know, it's a faster form of genocide. Like, you would get to the point now where watching people just be muppets and continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over again would piss you off, wouldn't you? Like, it's a horrible concept when you think about it, but at the same point in time, it's just accurate. You would become that much of a nihilist, just watching people consistently screw up their own lives. We're going to make ourselves surprisingly weak here, but at the same point in time, I think it's the right thing to do. Because these guys need... Well, they don't need it, but we're going to give them a bit of a run out. Really? Really? So because you end up going out to the wing and the out of possession, it's coming up as stating that you're just pure potential. You have no organization of being there. That's fascinating. Victor probably needs it more than Sesko. So we'll go with the full changes of the team in order to give a showcase for everyone else, because we've effectively won this game unless we completely screw up. So we'll just be happy with them, and then we'll continue on with a full 12 change. Like, I mean, if you were immortal, what would you do? Oh, we need to take Manu off as well. Okay. We'll put Mount on for Manu. Like, what would you end up doing? What would be the thing you'd end up doing? Would you try to become in a situation of power where you're able to influence humanity? Would you just sit down into the background and let humanity do their own stuff? It's kind of interesting. I like to think I'd want to get involved in the discussion of people of man and see how they end up doing and trying to make things better. With the knowledge that I have in place to try and make things better as we continue to go on. I like to think I do that. But at the same point in time, I say that and I get bored with the life that I have at the moment. And I'm not even in a position where I can help people. I know we've made like a mass plethora of changes, and they haven't. But like, this has been a bad second half. They have Maku on. Interesting. Not doing anything magical yet. Is Anana going to have another stinker? Not yet. They've made a fair whack of changes too, although their injured striker isn't one of them, which is still hilarious. Goober, Bass, Dolarg. I mean, we're performing grand. We're doing well. Like, we're in control of this game. We've had more shots than them. We've had more shots on target than them. Our XG is higher. Like, we've been performing grand, but you'd expect to do better. Just realized a forgive enemy clip is jointly tied for the second most viewed clip I've done of you. With you. Which one? I'm guessing one of my clips is the one that has the most views that you've ended up doing. Which one of the clips that I ended up doing for me ended up coming up as the most viewed Senior Duck? And when was the last time they were on? Forgive Me. Oh, the Forgive Me Father one. God, that game was crap. God, God, that game was crap. Maybe just for the gish, we might bring that game back into play. But God, that game was crap. Like there should be no distinction to be made that that game was anyways good. It was not a good game. Art style was interesting in the whole lot, but that game is crap. Ooh, interesting goal for them. You can't blame that on Onana. We need to do better defensively, but still screaming like a banshee. At some point in time in the future, too, once I end up getting the arm back, I plan on. But they put Maku in defense. That's interesting. Anyway, once I get the arm back into things, I plan on implementing more stuff like enter AIs. I did that for every sub 5 push-ups or something like that. You know, to actually give a bit more, you know, build and attractability and all that type of stuff. You know. But in general, at the moment, I'm happy with the way things are going. The dashboard should be working as well. So, like, there's options there for sound alerts and all that type of stuff, even though I add in my own ones, obviously, with the channel points. But you know yourself. But that was a good result for us there with Ajax. We done much better with Ajax than we did against Barcelona. And the Excelsior match is honestly a bit of a waste of time. But with that being said, too, it gives us a chance to go full youth and see how things end up going there. Would you be clipping in many streams now at the moment, Duck? Or watching many streams at the moment? Can do. I should do. Whoa! Oh, this is still here. Nice. So this is still bugged. So who do we need to sell in terms of our defenders? Maguire, definitely, if we can get him sold. Yeah, I figured. Shaw would be useful as well. Shaw more so because of his age. Doesn't want to leave. Okay, well, we have a season on Shaw. Well, we have a couple of seasons on Shaw. We did just give him back the... What? Did the stream go down? Hello? Am I still here? I should be. Oh, okay, good. Good. I don't know what happened there. Could be. But hey, the crack is still here, so that's all that matters at the end of it. That hurt! Ow! Oh. Mazraoui is another one that we actually want to actually try and get rid of if we can. It's an unfortunate situation at the moment where we don't actually have the capability of selling many people because nobody's really coming in for them. If they come in, we'll see. For now, though, we'll just be grand with what we have. But yeah, the Starlink is what I end up using for the internet, so it actually ends up doing the job fairly well. And France are the World Cup winners, which, to be honest, is probably a result that people will expect. I do want to check in terms of the World Cup where England came, because IRL in this World Cup, you have to be thinking, that's a very surprising final, by the way, you have to be thinking that Bloody words, Craic. You have to be thinking that England need to be one of the principal ones going for that. Belgium, Croatia, Nigeria, and France final. That's weird. France bet Croatia. Belgium bet, or Nigeria bet Belgium. Okay. Stages. Final. Semi-finals was this. Quarterfinals. Yeah, England got knocked out by Nigeria. Interesting. We put in an offer for him. He's currently rudimenting over whether or not he's going to join us, Ashday. We ended up getting Ilya as well. And we'll see what ends up happening. So he might end up joining us. We haven't yet decided whether or not he's going to join us. So you need to bear with it and give us a bit of time. More than likely, Willie is probably going to end up joining us. I'm not gonna even warrant that with a response. You've literally just come back from loan. Rashford, you've literally just come back from loan. And what's very funny about that is not only have you just come back from loan, you've just come back from loan and started both of the games that we've had since you come back from loan. Both of the friendlies we've had, you've started. Hilarious that it's Maguire that's bringing that up too, by the way. Interesting. Ignacio Lagio, not anyone of interest for us. We've signed Leno Miller, 19 years of age, Udinese. Bonkers. Like, you're good, but bonkers level stats there. You're no better than anyone we have, so we'll be ignoring you for now, even though 19 years of age, you do have good stats. Rudiger will be keeping an eye on. Nuno the same. Tell him go do some clubbing to clear his mind. I mean, it's not a bad old option. That's the reason why we have the beats in the background, Dash Day. Now, the thing about him is one of the reasons why he's considering it is a Saudi club is thinking of coming in for him. Now, the good thing for us is he is available for 25 million, so he should end up joining us with no issue. But we'll see. Also, if Juventus come in for him, I'll definitely end up selling him. And we're just going to decline that conversation because I can't be arsed. Mafi! Otterum Mafi! You know, normally when I end up doing saves and I'm not United, Mafi actually ends up going to United. He's with West Ham. Interesting. I mean, he's complete crap. He's complete crap, Mafi, and I never understood why he always wound up coming to United. But interesting. We probably will end up getting at some point in time, just not this season. Oh, the cockroach. The cockroach is looking for a job. I know that's really, really mean, by the way. And for those of you that aren't big fans of the stream, the cockroach is Tony Mulberry. Mulberry ended up getting the United job as an interim in my FM24 save and stayed with United for 6 years. He stayed with United for 6 years, got them a 12th, 11th, 10th, 7th, and 10th finish with them. How he wasn't sacked, I haven't a goddamn clue. It's also the wrong one because it was Tony that had the job, so this isn't even the cockroach. So, you know, I'm even looking at the wrong one. This isn't even the cockroach. He just happens to have the same last name as the cockroach. So Tony's the cockroach. So, you know, I'm being mean to Darren. Whether or not he's related to Tony would be absolutely hilarious if he was. They're brothers! So he's the cockroach's brother. So never mind. Oh, that's actually genuinely funny. Of course he'd be the cockroach's brother. How are things, Glint? What's a crack-a-lackin' with you, my friend? Any of these worth it? Very good, very good. We want to be better than very good if we can. We want to be getting outstanding or elite. Good is not good enough. Outstanding, good. So we have outstanding there. By the way, do I actually have the place to end up hiring? If I try hiring these, am I actually going to be able to? Club. Staff. I mean, we do. We have space for the scouts, so we're going to end up getting them anyway. I don't really have an opinion. So the outstanding was you. But your average... No, it wasn't you. Where was the outstanding? Good, good, good. Interesting, interesting. Alex Mitchell was very good. Other than the fact that he has a big head, he's fine. Yeah. No, that's fine there. Do that as our scout. West Ham. Yeah, we're not going to look at him. We're not going to look at you. Good enough. Palace's one is actually amazing, so we're going to try and get Peter Brandt, even though he's old. I don't really like getting old staff members because you never really know when they're going to end up retiring on you, which is always a massive concern. Although Marta looks incredibly good. So, anyways, so we'll go into that there and end up getting him. And keep at it for now. Hula bula. If he was in the Liverpool Academy, I would actually end up getting him, but he isn't actually there. Funnily enough, one of the really interesting things with the game is if you ended up having people in it that are there, legally speaking, you can't have people over the age of 15 or 15, 16 in the game. So oftentimes it won't let you end up doing it. But yeah, anyways, Willie is potentially going to end up joining us. He's just delayed at the moment for his work permit. As for everyone else here... probably best just letting them go at this point. Abdella, interesting. Interesting. Abdella, we'd be spending what on him? 40 million? No, he's not worth it for us at the moment. Kenneth Taylor would be interesting, though, but yeah, what can you do? Thanks for the rose, my friend. Pleasure to have it. But we're now going to end up getting ourselves ready for this next match now. Second season coming into it now. We have a couple of good signings put into place to see. I mean, it's interesting that you mention him. He actually is in FM, Kenneth Elchworm. He's a good player. I've heard good things about him IRL. The big worry with him is his actual strength. Like, obviously, 16 years of age, you'd be joining the academy and you don't really know where that'd be going. And United have been good at getting players like that. They've been good at getting value in the whole lot in that point of view. But you do what you can and you see where she goes. Thank you so much for the roses, Clint. But we'll be going with a youth squad here for this particular game. Is Hardly back yet? I don't think he is. No, so we'll go with Vivek for this instead of Onana. Put him in place. Then we'll go with full youth. So we'll go with Jaden there, Cops there with Godot. We'll go with the youths in order to start this game off as opposed to where we had them the last time where we actually ended up playing with them. Gibson in the centre defensive midfield. Thank you so much for that, by the way, Clint. That's unbelievable. You didn't need to do that. Thank you so much. If only that was a possibility. But other than that, I mean, we'll go with Cooley there, Julian there. We'll go with Ahmad and Victor up front. And we'll go with this team and see how we end up doing for the start of this. Hopefully it'll end up going well. We'll see if he's actually there. I don't know if he is, but we'll check. The unfortunate thing is anyone from League of Ireland is a bit crap. Like, in terms of the League of Ireland players here, there's no one that's anyways good, unfortunately. And in the under-20s, it's the same point. Unfortunately, they don't have anyone of any actual quality. Even if they are good, they don't portray them as good. He's here. 19, he's a right back. Can play as a winger for a bit. He's free for signing. But unfortunately, he's not anyways good. We'll give it a scout. I'm actually curious. We'll give it a scout and see what ends up happening. But yeah, he's there anyways. 19 years of age. Oh God, 19 in this save is 2007. Crikey. Oh, that'll make you feel old. If we went for him. I mean, screw, we can. He's going to be nothing, but might as well. He can say that he's been signed by United. They're going to whinge about that signing, by the way, because he's crap. But at the same point in time, I might as well do it. Anyway. Into another save now. So let's see how we do in this particular game. We should... Ooh, why are you injured? Okay. Unfortunate. He'll need to buckle up a bit for us in order to get the money in order to pay for that. But hey, we'll give him a go. Sexton is injured there. Semi-Lemons going to be playing. And there. And we can go with this team. It does annoy me a bit that they haven't fixed this bit, where if you have players down as hidden and they're in the actual main squad, they actually go hidden. That's something they should end up fixing. Because, like, it's understandable you don't want to pick players that you can't end up selecting. But those type of players should end up appearing when they're actually in your squad instead of just hiding the squad area. You know? But we'll see what ends up happening here, so we'll continue on for now. Let's try this game and see how things end up going. Manu getting the captain's armband. It's really, really funny, too, in terms of the United discourse at the moment, that in January, there's currently the discussion that United are looking to loan out Manu. And it's not that they're looking to loan out Manu, it's that he wants to get into the England squad as opposed to the World Cup. Understandable. So he wants to end up going on loan. And there's a lot of people making a big deal about that, specifically because a year beforehand, himself and Lenny Lamals, Lenny Lamans, how do you pronounce it? Yamal. Yeah, Lamine Yamal, were both being showcased as equal in terms of development for youngsters, which is horse crap, but never mind that. It's funny to end up putting down that point of view. Like, I like Kobe Manu as a player, but he needs a good bit more development before he's ready to be what people are expecting him to be, you know? So we'll see what ends up happening there. Anyway, let's see how we do in this game. These are not a good side, so we should be able to steamroll them fairly easily with this particular squad. I know it's a number of youths that probably won't end up getting the games that we'd normally end up showcasing to them. But at the same point in time, we'll chance our arm and see what ends up happening. Victor? God, Victor. Oh, Ashday, it's still happening. We're still just going, God, Victor. I mean, I do find it funny, too, that one of the main things that's happening IRL at the moment when it comes down to United is the discussion for Conor Gallagher is happening again. And I am of the opinion that's his agent more than it is United going for him. But we'll see what ends up happening. Ahmad now with a bit of a run. Ooh, nice tackle. Gibson to Ahmad. And an absolutely gorgeous goal by Ahmad. Like, it looked like it was going in slow motion, but at the same point in time, a brilliant shot located into the right area and put straight through. Okay, so two shots on target. Beautiful. The youths are performing particularly well at the moment. Gibson legitimately is one of the best youth intakes I've ended up seeing. I mean, they haven't come in for him yet, but the funny thing is the club that's actually interested in him is Arsenal. Arsenal said that they were tempted to come in and look for him earlier on in the inbox. So, you know, would I sell him to a Premier League squad? No. I genuinely still think there's a player in him. It's just really funny that the highlights have just been doing him really, really dirty. And like with Rasmus back as well, it means we have 4 strikers playing for the one position with the way that we end up playing, because you have Rasmus trying to end up getting the striking spot, although he's been injured, so he's not getting any moments pre-season. So we have Rasmus, we have Evan Ferguson, we have Benjamin Sheshko, and obviously Victor. And out of all of them, the best person is Sheshko, because Sheshko ended up getting like 23 goals last season. And Victor does have a bit of a cannon on him. Like, that was a good shot if he just lowered it down a wee bit more. So have you gotten any news anyway, Ashday, on when you're meant to be getting your new computer? It'd be interesting to hear how people are finding the actual console version of the game too. I have no indication of what the console version is like because I've never ended up playing it at all. But I hope it ends up working well, because I genuinely want people to end up enjoying the game. Jaden now. Like, the fact that we have no possession in this game is a bit of a joke considering the side we're up against. Who do you want to replace with Fernandez? Gibson. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. He'd be subbed off at halftime anyway, so there's no point doing it now. Now, it is funny that we've been doing significantly more work down the right-hand side than we have in the left-hand side. We do have it set to be equally distanced between the two of them, so he's very good in this because of his height. Ashday. In EAFC, it's interesting you mention him being good in EAFC. I don't actually think he's that good in EAFC because the main to be good in EAFC, depending on which play style you go for. If you're going for authentic, he's fairly good because he's high, like he's tall, and you can end up putting in crosses to him. If you're playing with the arcadey gameplay, whatever that's called, I think actually of United strikers, Rasmus is better because Rasmus is quicker, and you want to have a striker that can end up cutting in around the players and end up doing that. Like I have Enric. I'm playing a Manchester United save in EAFC myself at the moment. I have Enric, I have Sheshko, and I have Hoyland all there as the striking partners. And Hoyland is by far the best out of all three of them, just because of his speed. Just because of his speed. Now, I'll be back in one quick second, my friends, so just bear with me. Pleasure to have you in, Matty. And it's a pleasure to see that it's actually working somewhat correctly there. It has indeed been added into the queue there. So that's nice to end up having coming in next. It's a nice little system as well because it ends up working that it'll just plonk straight into the queue. So if I have a playlist playing at the moment, it'll just continue to go on through and rip straight through. I'm not doing too bad, my friend. Happy to be streaming today. Into the Craic now and just enjoying life. So far, in terms of the actual stream itself, we haven't been performing too badly. It's all been going fairly good. We've had three. This is our second game, and we're performing. Is it our second or is it the third? We've been in X amount of games anyway. We've been performing fairly well in them so far before we end up getting into the actual season itself and just enjoying the Craic. But I suppose I should end up asking, how are you doing, my friend? Is it all going good with you? What's the Craic with you? Is life treating you good, grand, and delicious, my friend? Aid in heaven. Quanya there. Sesko. Who are we missing? Godot needs to be taken off as well, so we need a defender. We out of defenders? No, they were delict. Good. Good. Well, that's good to hear. Love that. I'm doing well. Nothing to complain about. Well, that's the way you want life to be. They say that the best times in life is when you have nothing to say. No news is good news, and you continue on with the greatness that is that type of news. But have you been playing much of FM yourself at the moment? Have you been doing anything exciting there? Have you been watching anything? Have you been playing anything? How has it all been going? Um, I mean, the only other thing I've been doing at the moment is I've been playing the game released in cooperation with Critical Role. I've been playing Dispatch. And I really enjoy that game. All of it is out now, so there's no increments between the story. And I like the story that is told about it, but I do feel I got slightly screwed on my particular ending because I'm not going to spoil any of it. I'm not going to talk about it now because the latest episode has literally been released today. It's also one of those funny situations of the bad guy immediately because Matt Mercer's voice ends up coming through the earphones, and immediately he hasn't been one of the main good guys, so he has to be the bad guy. Well, it's made by former Telltale developers, so it's beautiful to have it in and listening to them. Holy crap, this is one good remix of that song. God, you have good taste. You've made my day listening to this one. I haven't been playing anything other than Battlefield. Just haven't had the motivation to play FM at the moment. Haven't had the motivation to play anything. Well, that's understandable, to be fair. How are you finding Battlefield, though? Because, its sales have been going up fairly well as well. Yeah, Monica has some good songs. Look her up. She's good. Yeah, I remember this song being in FIFA 09 Duck, but it definitely wasn't this version of that song. If I wanted to now... for me, I end up going back to old school WWE games and just going through every single bit of crap that they end up having, because the old school WWE team songs are unbelievable. Listening to the songs that we're playing when you play fights in Here Comes the Pain rocks your world asunder. I love every moment of it. There's something to be said in good taste in music anyway. It's always brilliant when that ends up happening. I've been really enjoying Battlefield, to be honest. Some bad lobbies here and there, meaning just bad teammates, but other than that, I've been really enjoying it. Well, they've supposedly done a lot of work on this particular Battlefield to ensure that there isn't griefing and there isn't people creating brand new accounts and causing issues for those that have ended up going into it. So they've been trying. By the way, what a goal by Matthias de Ligt. That's Harry Maguire-esque right there. So it's brilliant that they've been doing that, especially in a time where it's all becoming a bit laissez-faire, a bit tame in the shooting genre. Also, nice to see that the graphics are still bugging out on the back. If you love this type of music and you use Spotify, I have a whole playlist, 400 songs. Maddie, due to the terms and conditions that the purple streaming app states when you are streaming. I cannot confirm nor deny that I use Spotify. However, if you were to link to me a playlist of plus 400 songs on it that you're building, I can indeed ensure to you that that playlist will be used at some point in time during the stream, if you catch my drift. Yeah, so send it on and we'll have a joy. Wait, oh, okay. Yeah, this type of music I love as well. This ended up coming from, and I mentioned it before, another game that I ended up playing recently. This has come from a game known as Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which, to be honest, I definitely recommend you end up having a look at if you can. It's a good, like, it's not triple A polished game, but it's a good bit of crack. It's basically a game where you become part of a crew and you graffiti the entirety of the area, and you become all cities. So you take over sections of the city by graffitiing them and fighting against every people in each version to do it. I highly recommend it as a game. Yeah, our creators has been doing phenomenally well for it. It's interesting the way that people end up talking, because infamously some review board gave it 2 out of 5 in their ratings, so it's getting love and hate. It was one of the top selling games on Steam at the last point in time, and there actually is a good streaming outlook for them at the moment as well. When you go for popular searches, it's the #1 search on Steam at the moment, and being a €40 game instead of a €60 game is a nice little kettle of fish to it as well. The deluxe version being just 60 quid is nice as well. But, like, to me, I think the thing that makes it quite nice is it has that kind of quiet place feel to it. And I think that's quite nice. Also, by the way, apologies, Maddie. You're one of the people. I have yet to change this later on, and I will end up changing it later on. But for now, since you ended up trying to do a link, I'm after giving you VIP, Maddie. You can now do the link there. I probably have more people on VIP than I do on actual viewership at the moment, but this is to allow you to end up doing links, because I kind of trust you. In general, as someone turned around to me and said, you shouldn't end up blocking off links, because most people on apps know not to be sending horse crap over streams, but it's just for safety precautions in my viewpoint anyways. Oh, perfect. We'll end up starting that one straight away after this. Coolaboola. So that playlist will be starting in after these songs. Happy out. Anyways. Oh, well, we'll be experiencing it together for the first wee while, Maddie. So considering how big it is, it'll take me quite a bit to end up getting through it. But we'll have it for a while. Oh no, Maddie, you don't understand the crack. You must understand what the crack is. The crack is an honest gentleman. The crack will tell you if your taste in music is absolute horse manure, or if your taste in music is actually decent. Don't worry, you shall be told how crap or how good your taste in music is. Don't worry, there's no shade or compunction about that. You will be told. Go away, soul. The fact that loans are allowed come in that are not beneficial to the player is pissing me off quite a substantial amount. I wish there was a way for me to put in a check that if it's not beneficial to the player, we just automatically say no. Are you actually shitting me? God, he's an annoying pillock. Like, Ashday, you're going to get your love. Willie Kwambala is coming back to us. He actually, stat-wise, looks fairly okay. There's a couple of elements of it that are concerning, but he actually looks decent. And like the big problem is we can't view him as an actual defender, which is annoying. But because his potential ability is fairly good in the whole lot, we pretty much decided that we're going to end up getting him. Because why not? Have you been using... I haven't been using him. He's just come back from... he's just come back from his loan last season. Unfortunately for him, he's kind of in the unfortunate situation that we now have Dennis, who we got in for piss cheap, and he will be our backup goalkeeper. And even worse than that, we have this kid here. Where is he? What? We definitely had another goalkeeper. I can't be losing my head. We had a goalkeeper called Hardy. Yeah, Charlie Hardy. For some reason, not apparent. Charlie Hardy here, who is genuinely fairly good as well. So we'll be seeing what ends up happening. Oh, we're not going to throw him out in the wayside yet, Ash Day. But unfortunately, his days are numbered. But for now, we're going to take Willie in anyway and see how Willie ends up doing. And hope that things end up going well, adding him into the collection of things. We want to get sold, and I don't think we're going to be able to. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. And he's not going to want to go. Yep. God damn it. This is funny that we're after signing Kwambala here, and we get 20% of the offer that we're after doing. So we actually got some money back. We got 5.5 million back for signing him, so we actually only bought him for 20. Benny, my friend, what's a crack-a-lackin' with you? It's been updated specifically for you, my friend, so that should be a lot quicker and a lot more tolerable for you than it was the last time. So tell me if the timing of that seems better for you, my friend. Where's Evan, by the way? Evan's here. A smidge too slow, but definitely better. Interesting. Okay. I'll work on making it even faster the next time, so, my friend. Actually, let me try that now. Because I can get your opinion off of you. You can tell me what you think. So if we go and change it to this, it'll work like this. That better? Oh, and the most part, I don't see it first. The redemption is to let chat know that it's coming as well, so that we're not accidentally scaring people. But I suppose I could put them as without the reaction, so to make it more like that, yeah. Guess I could make it more like that. Yeah, I'll think about it.
What happened?
I'll refund you back your points now in a second, by the way. Is this better? Let's try it at this. This might be too quick. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll try it at that for a bit. It's very quick, but we'll do it at that. By the way, Maddie, I know you'll say it when you come back. About down to commenting as you just say BRB. I'm doing grand, Benny. Kept going. Happy to be streaming at the moment. Have the unfortunate distinction that this weekend I won't be able to do any streams, which is slightly annoying. But in general, I'm happy with the way things are going. Enjoying doing the streams, enjoying the crack of the people that we end up talking to and the whole lot. So happy with the way everything is. So you know yourself, I'm just living the best life, living the Viva Loca. Living the Viva Loca, you know yourself. What about yourself? How is life treating you? Has the issues that you were dealing with gotten any better on your end? Where are we on this now? This is something I don't like. This here where it's telling you the percentages of the people that are going to win. So like Liverpool are favourite to win the Premier League, which is fine. Arsenal won it last season, so I would love to know why they think Liverpool are going to win it. And then we're at 20-1. That's fine. I don't actually care about that, but I think this in particular would be slightly better if it was done like showing the table itself. It is me being, you know, contrarian, but just a potential improvement to me, anyways. Flavin Enzo Boyoma is actually a very good player. I have a nasty habit of not wanting to purchase someone unless they have really high potential. No, just go away. I'm like, I should go to the effort of going in and changing people in order to be the I'm not gonna sell you, so we'll do that. You a 6 or 30. You're 9. You're 17. You're 11. I've used 20 at the moment. Yeah, we'll leave it 20. Why is Senny Lemons, we're going to change to 1 because you are our main goalkeeper. You, we're going to change to 31 to replace Semi Lemons. And that's about the height of them. I haven't tried Arc Raiders out to bounce, unfortunately. it hasn't. It takes a lot for me to purchase a brand new game. To be honest, I barely wanted to buy this yoke, and I like Football Manager quite a significant amount. It's also not the type of game that would typically end up getting me, but I might do a bit of research on the game as to whether or not I'd end up purchasing it. Have you played it, my friend? Have you played it? Like, out of streaming at the moment, the main games that I have been playing is Dispatch, as I mentioned earlier on. I've been playing Battle Chasers Night War. And then as we end up seeing on streaming wise, I've been streaming Shin Megami Tensei 5, which is a mixed bag on hard mode. But hey, the Craic is nothing if not stubborn. Excuse me. Oh, there's roleplay in it. Interesting. I like Dispatch quite a lot. The story is very well executed. I will say the big problem with Dispatch is the gameplay of Dispatch feels like it was added in just to give gameplay to the game. On a number of the episodes, it feels like the gameplay is a distraction rather than an improvement. Now, there are 2 episodes where that isn't the case. There are 2 episodes where the gameplay adds to the story. So for those 2 out of the 8 episodes, it's definitely worth it. But also, just so you know, it's effective. The gameplay is effectively police stories. But Xenosaga is an interesting call out, Benny. An interesting call out. God, Xenosaga. That's a game franchise. The Xenosaga itself is a game franchise I haven't played. I have to go back and end up doing that. But in general, Benny, I recommend it. I had the interesting conundrum that a couple of the selections that I picked made some elements happen that are horse crap. Like, I wanted romance, was trying to get romance, and accidentally put myself into a situation where I didn't get romance, which is hilarious. But yeah. Game prompts you to save in the middle of a cutscene. Yo, dog, your ass probably sore. Would you like me to save before more? I mean, that's fair. Yeah, I've heard the rumors of Conor Gallagher. I don't think Conor Gallagher would be a bad signing for United, Ashday. I think it's funny. My big thing when it comes down to the Conor Gallagher situation is the toxic discord that's coming about it. Conor Gallagher's not a bad player. He'd end up making improvements towards United. I have a feeling that my problem towards Conor Gallagher is, from what I know of the player, he's more offensive than he is defensive. And if you want him for the defensive capabilities, then that's good. It is what I would want him for. Is he good enough defensively for what we need? I don't know. I don't know Conor Gallagher well enough in order to know that. Because if you're taking him for his midfield offensive capabilities, you have Kobe Manu. Use Kobe Manu. If you're using him for his defensive midfield attributes, I don't know if he's good enough. Is he the defensive position of Bruno that's better that is there for Bruno? If he is, then that's fine. 45 million quid is a bit much for him as well, but, you know, English tax. My big thing is the discourse coming around saying, oh, you bunch of dipshits, you're signing Conor Gallagher and selling Kobe Manu. I doubt for an instance that Kobe Manu is getting sold. But I will state there is an interesting problem happening around United at the moment where we haven't used a academy player in the starting squad all season. That is concerning, genuinely. Also, is Shaw injured for his own testimonial? Surely not. Oh, Shaw's injured for his own testimonial. Do we play him? It is his testimonial. Also, no one showed up for it. No one showed up for it. I mean, like, there's no players here for it, so no one showed up for his testimonial, unless the game is just bugged. No one showed up for his testimonial. Oh. I mean, you kind of have to. You kind of have to play him even though he's injured. Unless the game won't let me. Oh no, the game will let me. So yeah, we kind of have to play him. I mean, the thing is, it depends on what we're after. I think Stellar is the better option, Ashday. Myself. But is there other options? Like, do you go and get a different poke? Is there someone in the championship that can end up doing it? Do we need to be spending 60 million quid on someone? And the problem is, because you're going to be getting them in January too, there's the January tax. So whatever you'd be getting Stellar for before, if there isn't a release clause, you're going to be getting more for him. I mean, I'm tempted to do that, Ashday, but I'm not going to. I'm tempted to do it since, like, he'd be back in time anyway for the start of the season. Like, he literally is just fit in his rehabilitation phase, and it is his testimonial. But if we break him, then screw it, we break him. We'll let the fool play in his testimonial. I just feel sorry that he doesn't have anybody showing up for it. Okay, so it has a weird habit of putting the most random assholes on the bench. Like, why would you drop Kobe Manu for this game? Yeah, that's enough there anyway. Okay. So, in for the testimonial. Let's see how we end up doing. What do you think about it, though, Ashday? Do you think he'd be a bad signing for us? Like, I'm just of the opinion of I don't know. This is effectively the team we're going to be starting the league with, too, so we will make one other change, considering this is a start. We'll go with Lenny Oro there instead of Ilya. Statter got to do that, and then swap Ugarte with Manu. Cool. Well, what we had been doing up until now was that. That was the squad we had been doing. Screw it. Let's continue it. Okay, let's go. Wish us some luck now as we end up going into this game. It would be hilarious if the first game we lose this stream was the testimonial. That would actually be very, very funny. Okay. There's no one. Cameron Archer actually is interesting because we've been linked with Cameron Archer for years, IRL. I genuinely don't think he's a good player, by the way, but we've been linked with him for years. And there's absolutely no way to get them motivated. Ooh. Almost a goal in 30 seconds. Yeah, camera. I'll check it afterwards. Doesn't look like they're going to patch in the goalkeeper attires either. Like, I never suspected it was something that we're going to do. I'd say I'm the only one whinging about it, to be honest, as the goalkeeper's attires aren't actually the official attires. Well, that should have been a goal for you, Manu. Larios now. To Charles. Charles up there. Delict. We want to be a bit more careful there. He almost gave that away. Sesko should move with a bit more gumption. Like, I know this is only a testimonial and it doesn't really matter, although interesting the icon they give for a testimonial. I mean, looking at United, we already have offensive midfielders like Manu, Bruno, Mount. Defensive midfielders, we've only got two in Casemiro and Ugarte. Ugarte so far is not working, and Casemiro's too old. You know, you say the Casemiro's too old, and you're right as well, but the stat behind it, and it is an absolute horse manure stat, but it's a funny stat all the same, is that when Casemiro has been on the pitch, we have conceded 5 times. When Casemiro hasn't been on the pitch, we've conceded 15 times. And you will notice that I have been turning around since the start of the year, the start of the season, that I have been of a stout opinion that Casemiro is not near as done as people have been stating that he is. His only problem is speed, and that matters in the Premier League, but that, and he's afraid to go into tackles because he has too many red cards on his tally, and the PGMOL are shite at their job. But I'm of the similar opinion. We need replacements for them, which is the reason why I'd end up looking at Stellar and Elliot Anderson, even though my biggest problem with Baleba and Elliot Anderson is the 100 million for either of the two of them. Elliot Anderson, the English nature of him would be handy to have, but we don't need to be spending 100 million quid on a bloody midfielder. So that's where I'd be avoiding both Baleba and Elliot Anderson. But you do have the option of other people as well. Like, you could end up looking for Chris Rigg and see if he is potentially good enough. You could end up looking into see if there's any deals you might end up getting in Europe. Like, try, even though this is a pipe of a dream, try to lay the work. Cameron Archer, the dick. Try to lay the workings again and see if João Neves is potential. Like, who would have thought we would have gotten Delict? So put your nose into the air and see if you can end up getting João Neves. Look around and see what's out there. But I'm of the opinion Stellar does look like the best option at the moment. Sexy, my friend. What's a crack-a-lackin' with you? It's a pleasure to have you in. How is your day going? I was going fine until Cameron Archer ended up scoring on us. The absolute tit. But what a goal! Never mind. I call that's because of you, Sexy. That's 100% because of you. Oh my god. What a goal. Mastantino was a CM and he is bagging loads from the middle of the park. I mean, having long shots is amazing when you have the right setup being done. Now, converting Francisco Mastantino into a centre defensive midfield is an option, Chromie. I'll tell you that. He's always someone I used to love to get. I hate that he's gone to Real Madrid IRL as well because Real Madrid have just too much. They've too much powder in the cannon at the moment. And as has been showcasing at the moment, there's a big discussion happening IRL with Real Madrid at the moment that Xavi Alonso is about to end up getting the sack because he can't get it and this is the quote that I ended up hearing. Now it's been translated, so obviously it's a bit the textbook meaning might be different in Spanish. This could be meaningful a wee bit different, but basically the turnaround had said that Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. cannot play together, and as a result of which Xavi Alonso deserves to get sacked. If the two of them can't play together, then it doesn't matter if you sack the manager. I'm sure there's a change in the way that that's being broadcasted because of that, but you know yourself. His stats are pretty good, but since his contract is up in the summer, he's not that quick anymore. And he's not that quick anymore. Yeah. But that's the thing, too. If you could sign him to a new contract, Casemiro, if you could sign Casemiro to a new contract and half the price of the contract, bring him down to 170, 100 and bloody 50 instead of the 300 that he's on, which he's not going to get anywhere else unless he goes to Saudi, then I'd end up keeping him for another year or two. Was that, oh my God, Benny to Bruno's goal? Or not Benny, Ben to Bruno's goal? Or is that, oh my God, to seeing the excellence that is Craic? Honestly, I don't know how Cameron Archer keeps sucking his way back into the Premier League after season after season. Well, the thing is, Cameron Archer isn't a bad player. Like, IRL, he isn't a bad player. He's the attributes... God damn, he's going to score again. God, I shouldn't praise the prick. God damn it. What the hell is our defense at? Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Ben. Can we go and get an immediate equalizer again? Can we go and get an immediate equalizer again? No, because Manu's shite. They have James McAfee as well, so they have another player of ours that's there. I didn't even realise they have James McAfee. James McAfee is a player we ended up with, that United ended up building. He's from the United Academy. But yeah, Cameron Archer having the game of his life. He's 24. I thought he was older than that.
Is one of those players that's really good at championship level still below it? And you're right on that. You're right on that. But he won't be coming up anyway for a long time because Southampton are a horribly run club at the moment anyway. Like when you're pretty much a feeder club for... I'm getting more voice into it. What voice is this? Oh my God. Pretending to be a gas mask. Oh my God. I'll give you your 2 minutes anyway, but oh my God, this is like chronically crap voice. Yeah. But Chroma yourself, Mastantino was one retrain you ended up doing. And interesting that you've done retraining. I find retraining hard to work properly in FM. So, if you were looking for a striker, get Amin Shiaka in for the top scorer. I'll look at him. I'll definitely look at him. Now, we don't really need strikers. We're kind of out the wazoo with strikers at the moment. We somehow managed to get, we somehow managed to get Evan Ferguson for 35 million quid.
So, like, we've been doing okay in terms of actually getting strikers. Whether or not Evan Ferguson will actually turn out to be anywhere decent is a different kettle of fish, a different conversation. But we've been doing okay. I mean, yes. We're like, for 35 million quid, it's a really, really good deal. Being one of those players that's very, very good in the championship but barely not good enough for the Prem must be one of the worst feelings. Like, you've almost reached the pinnacle of football, just nearly, but you fail in short terms of your ability. Well, the sad thing about it is we also don't know, and we never will know, because like, a prime example of it is one of those players, by textbook definition of the way you're describing it, Sexy, is Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire has been relegated 3 times. Harry Maguire has been relegated 3 times and then ends up getting into a United side where he performs grand. There's no point. There's no point shadowing over history. Harry Maguire hasn't been excellent, but he's been grand for United. He's just been a good factor for us, a consistent factor for us in the last wee while. Arguably been one of our best defenders this year. But, you know, that's a showcase of where it ends up going. Neves as a CM is only 2.5 stars for me. Wasted so much on him as well. I know. But he's a great player in terms of his stats potential. So that's where you end up taking the risk on that one, Chromie. Can we end up getting something out of this? We're going to go ultra attacking now. Like, the fact that we have a 3 XG and 1 goal is annoying. Have you promoted Shea Lacey or Kone yet? Shea Lacey is fine on this save. He's probably at that point in time where he could improve. Kone, we had an hilarious situation with Semi Kone. Kone, we ended up putting out on loan last season to Wolves. And it's the first time I've ever seen this happen, but we put him out on loan to Wolves. And Wolves ended up taking him, gave us the important player squad position, and then decided to play him in the under-21s. I have never seen that happen before, but because he was playing, and because he was important to the under-21s, it satisfied the loan condition. So I couldn't complain about it. But unfortunately, Kone is crap. So both of them are very, very poor in my save. So I've gone out and purchased a couple of people. Now, I got 4th last season as well, so we done actually fairly well on that one as well, but you see what ends up happening. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, too, though, Sexy. God, if Archer had gotten a hat-trick. At the end of the day, too, Sexy, the other big thing to remember is, do you really care? Like, you're making enough money at that point in time, even if you're not the pinnacle of your industry, you're making more money than most people will make in their life. Doc will end up screaming into his handbasket at the moment, but I'm going to make a wrestling reference. Ridge Holland is currently going through a situation in wrestling where he's after being let go from WWE. And the thing is, he's been with WWE for 8 years. For some of that 8 years, he was on a 6-digit contract. Then he ended up taking over the last year a decreased contract where he was on about 50K, which in America is not enough to end up surviving. I understand that, but he's probably been for most of his career on more money than most people will end up seeing any point in their life. He'll never be the top of the wrestling industry, but he's on more money than he know how to do it. He was bad with his money, but that's an entirely different kettle of fish. Even if you're never going to be the best thing, you've met it. So long as you sign for a professional football league and are up in the upper echelons, you've met it. Oh, fuck off, Onana. Oh, god damn it, Onana. Oh, god damn it, Onana. Yeah, we've sold Collier. We've sold Collier, Chromie. We ended up getting 30 million for him, so we kind of had to sell him. I feel like the younger ones, like Smallville, would definitely care to some degree. Got a transfer to West Ham, but doesn't live to the hype he got at Leeds. Well, you see, there comes a situation where you need to know what you're at as well. Like, West Ham, and this is Benny, but feel sorry for Benny, but like West Ham should be a good signing. And you should end up performing good at West Ham. But then you have a situation where the owners just don't... God damn it, guys! Onana's never playing for United again, by the way. I don't care if he rots on the bench. because West Ham should have been a good signing, and like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like Granit Xhaka signing for Sunderland has been revolutionary. It's going to improve his rankings in the Premier League by leaps and bounds because of how good he's been in the Premier League since doing that. And the people that they've signed over the summer period of time will help them to no end as well. You know. So all of it is a matter of luck, and all of it is seeing how you end up performing, and you never really know, you know? So you just go with what you can and hope that it ends up working for you. Sexy. Like Smallville is young enough that he could end up getting a signing there. And like a prime example is Anthony Elanga, who went to Nottingham Forest and now is with Newcastle, a big team, and he should have stayed at Nottingham Forest because he's doing nothing at Newcastle and will probably end up getting sold again to a smaller team because he ended up making that change. Whether that's behind the scenes drama that's causing that to happen or more, you never really know. For 85 million, Chromie, I'd sell Ahmad for 85 million. You can get people equally as good at him for that amount of money. Age-wise, it depends. If he's 25, 24 for 85 million, I'd sell him. You'll get what a cross by Ahmad. What a horrible, horrible header by Evan Ferguson, though. Oh, that's a sickening header. We're going to lose Shaw's testimonial. Oh, I think Shea Charles is a former United player as well, isn't he? Victor doing a nice interception. Oh, come on, Bruno. You have to do better than that. Julian, come on, man. Goal. Holy crap. That'd be funny if it wasn't tragic. That'd be funny if it wasn't tragic. Holy crap. I realize as a streamer I need to keep talking, but I actually need to get the breath back into my mouth. Like, fuck me, Onana. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, I'm sickened. I'm sickened. That's hilarious. That's absolutely hilarious. Also, a lot of these players are technically good enough for the Prem. They just aren't good enough mentally. That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point, Sexy, because I don't agree with you. I am of the opinion, and this is where I will be a cynic. I am of the opinion that footballers have digressed over the past 20 years, and they've gotten worse than they were 15, 20 years ago. I don't think it's a situation of that they're good enough for the Premier League and they're mentally not. I think they're good enough for the Prem, but they're being hamstrung to play in formations and tactics that they're not able to end up coming up to, and that the players around them aren't able to connect up properly in order to work. The best players in the Premier League at the moment are the players that are able to end up thinking what the next person beside them are able to do. Now, that was always the case as well, but individuality has been killed in the Premier League up until this season, ironically, thanks to an awful lot of what Pep ended up doing. So I think it's a situation of you needed to become an homogenous homunculus, a bloody robot that could follow the words of what needed to be put into place. Otherwise, you weren't particularly good. some of the players that are in the championship are good enough, and I know, Ashday, unbelievable. A 4.8 XG, and it's 3.5. I did get FM'd. But I think it's a situation of once you hit the Premier League, it becomes so fast, it becomes so uniformed that it won't work. Like, Haaland is the prime example at the moment. Haaland is not a good footballer, but he's a fantastic striker for the way that City end up playing. But he's not a good footballer, you know, if you get what I mean. Yeah, took the offer. I have 2 wingers each side. Might get 1 for rotation. Any good wingers that play both sides without training? The one I would think of is, and give me a second, Chromie. Oh, come on. Yes. Him. Chromie. Obviously he's not 100% ideal to it, but he has a fairly good potential and right mentality, and is typically consistent. I'd recommend him. But also, you said you were 3 seasons in, so there's probably a couple of regens that'd be good for as well. Depending on his cheapness, Ernest is always a fairly good one to go for as well. Ernest Numa, who can perform on both sides. Ernest is pretty much always a good one. So depending on his cheapest, I go for Ernest as well. I wouldn't be able to comment on the difference in the last 20 years, so I'll have to take your word for it. I mean, I also could be talking horse manure sexy, so it's fair play to you. Maddie, it's a pleasure to have you back. I've been liking this playlist so far. It's a nice little addition to it. Feel free to end up adding more elements into the request as well, but obviously it's your playlist, so you probably don't need to. You did miss a 5-3 ass whooping to Southampton in Shaw's testimonial, that he only got to play 45 minutes because he was injured. But at the end of the day, Cameron Archer ended up showing us up. James McAfee, a former United player, ended up doing well as well. In fact, I want to actually check this. So, Gavin Bazzuno, Shea Charles. I'm almost positive. Oh, no, Shea Charles is City. Okay. I knew he was one of the Manchester side. For sure. Wouldn't the ability to quickly slot into any tactical approach you need to, for your manager, have some mental aspects of being able to learn a system quickly? I may be overestimating the difference in mental ability, though. That's a fair point. But when most people end up talking about mental ability, sexy, they end up talking about the level of pressure, the level of mentality they end up needing to do to actually perform the way they want to do. Say what you want to about Harry Maguire. He's been put through the absolute living shite, but that man has the mentality of a Greek god because he's come back fighting for more. Like, the fact that he didn't end up going into the wayside and hiding in a hole after being called Magaluf and Slabhead, and just gone through rigorous amounts of abuse for that. It's a showcase of his mentality, and that's where people end up talking about mentality. And that's maybe where I got mixed up with you as well, because I thought that's what you meant by mentality, in terms of their mindset and their actual ability not to be able to continue on that way. That's what I thought you meant by mentality. If you meant other than that, then you're probably right, mentality-wise. You know, the youngsters don't have it as much as they tend to. But you have those that are able to get in there. Like, the big thing is most people are trying to follow Pep's ways of doing it, and Pep isn't even able to do it the way he's doing it either. Like, you can see with some of the players that are going in there, his homogenous nature isn't coming through as much this season as it would have beforehand. You can see the likes of Nico O'Reilly is a genuinely good player, but Nico O'Reilly wouldn't be given the luxury to be expressing himself the way that he is this season. And normally, if Pep was doing his normal stuff, was doing his normal showcases, if you get me. If that makes any sense. So it's not going to let me. Fair enough. We do actually need to sell some people now, so unfortunately we do actually need to try and get rid of the likes of Maguire. I feel as though there are two trains of thoughts about mentality and the determination and resilience to not fold under the immense pressure to have composure and IQ and vision required to make the game at the top level. Maybe. Can you watch the games live on just the dots? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Connor. If you don't mind me asking. Can you expand a bit on what you mean by that? This is completely my own ignorance, but I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. Another friendly coming up in a minute too. We'll ask him and then he'll turn out. Yeah, that's what I thought. We just want money for him at this point. I don't want to transfer list him, though. Dolphin, my friend, what's a crack-a-lacking with you? It's a pleasure to have you in. Are you 15th with everyone in the dressing room hating you, with you playing the wrong players in the wrong position and ending every process? Trust the process, bro. No, Dolphin. Thankfully, I ended up getting us up to 4th. Now, with that being said, I can't be as much of a brown-nosing prick as I would have been 5 minutes ago, because 5 minutes ago, I wouldn't have had this loss to Southampton in a testimonial. But otherwise, I'd end up saying that. But I it is a situation of just trusting the process, my friend. And also, it's worse than what you ended up stating, because we actually ended up getting 16th. But yes, do you want to know what's really funny about that process as well, Dolphin? Is that United in 2025 have 16 losses, but Liverpool, the team that's actually doing somewhat well, have had 17 losses. So I think we're actually doing somewhat well this season, especially with the games that we've had. But I'm also understandable of the point that our first match back after the 2-week international break is Everton, and I have a nasty feeling Everton are probably going to beat us. Okay, we'll try this. So who have you brought into the club this season? Never played a testimonial in FSN. How is it different from a friendly? Okay. 2 questions there. I'll show you exactly who we brought in a second. A testimonial, Sexy, is brought on by having a player in your squad with the club for 10 years. If they've been with the club for 10 years, you can end up having a testimonial. Now, what tends to happen with a testimonial is players that have played alongside. You need to explain to me, Connor, what you mean by that, or I'm going to end up banning you. You can't just repeat the same thing 3 times and expect me to end up doing something. You need to have had the player play for you for 10 years, and then they'll end up looking to see old players that played alongside him that he's gotten on with. They will invite them back for the testimonial, so he'll play alongside them for the game. So you bring back the, like, so if I had sold Maguire would come back for that game and play alongside Shaw for the friendly, basically. So yeah. So when you're saying, can you watch games live or just the dots? What do you mean by that? Like, can you watch it in a 3D match engine or in a 2D version? What do you mean by that? I'm not 100% sure what you mean when you say, can you watch the game live, Connor? No, he's not beneficial. So effectively, that's what that ends up meaning, sexy. I was shocked by it. We're getting him. Holy crap, we're getting him for cheap. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking that's what he means. If that's what you mean, we're just watching the 2D match engine instead of watching the 3D. You can end up viewing it on the 3D match engine. You can watch quote unquote live, as you were stating there. But yeah, that's how that ends up working. Sexy. They have to be 10 years with you, and you can invite back people from before. I actually like the 3D match. I have FM26 on tablet, but you can't actually see the bits. That's interesting. That the mobile version would end up being that way. Yeah, you can watch the 3D match version in this. It's one of the big selling points for this particular version of the game, that you can watch it in 3D. In fact, I will showcase it to you, because why not? Go to our fixtures. We have breast there. We can do, yeah, so arrange a friendly. We can do a friendly for this day here, the 29th. Do that. We'll add a friendly just so I can show it to you. Let's go Everton. I'm playing it on PC. Yeah, Connor, I'm playing it on PC at the moment. Enjoying it on PC. So, which is sound because you're able to mod it and the whole lot. So they need to do an awful lot more improvements to it for it to be acceptable. I still wouldn't recommend someone buy the game yet, because there's too many glitches. Although they seem to have narrowed down the glitches, so they're not as bad as they used to be, thankfully. So that's good. Brilliantly. Yeah, the 2D match engine is interesting. I started playing in 2019, Dolphin, so I've never actually experienced the 2D match engine properly. I've always been a 3D match engine guy. But it's interesting, so we'll end up seeing a bit of it here when we end up going through it. So, ineligible because you're playing on the same day, so we'll do this. So this is the squad we'll put down there. And I'll just make a couple of quick changes, and then we'll see. So do that. You're ineligible. You are tired. You're ineligible. Cool. So this is the squad we'll go with, and we'll just change you with one other person. So Fitzgerald's out on loan. OBS. You for that. Okay. So, yeah, this is a squad. We'll save here. So we're going up against Everton, and I'll show it to you. I swear the players in my 2D match engine used to have little feet on their models, but the patch on this game changed it to just show the direction their arrows are going to. I mentioned I haven't seen that before, to be honest. That's interesting. Dealer, how are things with you, my friend? It's going grand. Sorry, bear with me. It's going grand. We're in pre-season at the moment. We signed a couple of interesting players, and we're just enjoying the way that it's going at the moment. And we're going to go into another pre-season game here against Everton to show off both the 2D and 3D engine now in a second. So Connor will show it to you now, the 3D engine. The 3D engine that took them 2 years and delayed the game. That's the reason they ended up changing to a brand new game engine, which is hilarious because it's definitely not deserving of it. But you can see what it's like here. They've actually went surprisingly strong for this game. Again, no motivation. I hate the new press conference system because there's a very little way of getting people motivated. But yeah, the game showcases out this way, has people coming out onto the actual pitch and the whole lot, shows them off in a 3D point of view, allows for a bit more flamboyance in the way that the game ends up playing. I currently have it set to a 2.5D aspect, and you can still see the 2D down there, but you can change the camera to an aerial view, which is this, which can show you your kind of 2.5D point of view here. You can change it to behind the goal, which is an interesting kettle of fish and makes it feel far more like EAFC. You can change it to the 2D classic, which is this. Shows the arrows and the whole lot on the goalkeeper up that way. It is... I wouldn't recommend purchasing it at the moment, if I'm honest with you, but it's 60 quid at the moment. It will go on sale. There are a couple of people that end up having codes with Fanatical, and you'll probably get it at discounts for that. I am of the opinion that currently I wouldn't buy this game unless it was for 20 quid. 20 quid, honestly. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy it. I can't turn around and give someone the recommendation to buy this game for anything more than about 20 quid. You can see the dramatic sideline there. You can see vertical scrolling here, which is, you know, another interesting way of looking at it. I like the broadcast way of looking at it because it gives a different feel to it. But yeah. Apparently Everton isn't as overpowered in this game as Dominic Calvert-Lewin went to Leeds. I mean, Dominic is unbelievable anyway, but Everton are always fairly good. Apparently they marketed the match engine in FM as the new match engine, which people believe due to new graphics, but backpedaled when people realized it was completely identical. Well, it's not completely identical, Sexy. They have done changes to the match engine. They literally changed the game's engine for this match engine. It is a brand new match engine. They've changed the entirety of the game's engine specifically for this match engine. Now, that's a problem in of itself because this is not a good enough improvement for it to be warranted the game engine change. Now, changing over to Unity is a fine change anyways. My big thing with this is effectively a text-based simulator. I've mentioned this multiple times, which means other than this that we're watching here, all of it is just database management. I'd recommend, at the moment's state, as you said there, to buy an older FM than go on this one. Like, I think get FM24 and put a SAS skin on it with an updated database, and that's perfect. You can't do that at the moment, so you'd have to pirate. So I would go the Ocean Blues, but it's definitely a new match engine, even though ironically it still has some of the same glitches that the old match engine had, but it's definitely a new match engine. It's coded in very similar way to the old match engine, but it's definitely a brand new match engine. Also, by the way, to send the love out to people, I'll give you one in a bit, Benny, because we've ended up doing it before. But considering the Wild Dolphin has appeared, genuinely, Dolphin is a fantastic streamer. If you can, give Dolphin a follow. Does Stellaris Hell Let Loose? Fantastic bit of crack. Introduced me to Simus and a couple of people over that way there. Definitely give him a follow. I'll give you a shout out in a bit, Benny, as well. We'll just let Dolphin go for the moment. If you can, give him a follow. One of the good ones. Has a fantastic Discord community as well. Always willing to talk to you and the whole lot. Please give him a follow if you can. Oh, I know you're not bothered, but I'm just telling you I'm going to do it in a minute now. Yep. Have you been playing much yourself in the last wee bit anyways, Dealer? Or how's the crack been going with you as well? And by the way, feel free to just lurk in the background if you want as well. We're performing much better in this game than we did in the last one, which is very funny. Even if we can't seal the deal, I say, as we score a goal. Brian and Buemo done all the goddamn work there, and Stellar literally just robbed the goal. But I mean, it's a beautiful goal for him to get. Like, Brian done all of the work there and then just passed it to Stellar, who rocketed it into the back of the net. Beautiful goal for Stellar, but Brian done all of the work there. Yeah, we're not getting a fancy Frosty Tools description for you, Benny, but give Benny a follow as well. Awesome streamer, American streamer, so he's able to give a bit more culture to our swine conversations. Highly recommend him. Fantastic in the FM community. Has made my life fantastic as well. I mean, I understand that. It's a nice little description instead of having to force people to give a quick description of themselves. Like, realistically, it's £4 a month in order to get it without the timeout. Realistically, I probably should end up spending it, but you know yourself, like, you know. Yeah, like, that's the thing, and that's my major problem with FM26. Like, the reason 25 got delayed is because they redid 25 from the ground. This is the excuse. They redid 25 from the ground up with a new engine to make the game better. That's bullshit with a capital B. This game is built on the carcass of 24. And there's nothing wrong with this game being built on the carcass of 24. But that A isn't what you promised the people, and B isn't the truth. This is very obviously the same database as 24, and this is a text-based simulator, that's fine. So the only thing you've been working on for 3 years is this match engine. Now, it isn't, because you've been working on the graphics as well. But, and here's the sad truth about it. Graphics are both the fastest and the slow, are both the slowest and the fastest thing in gaming. So you need to know your UI design and the implementation of UI design straight away. But as soon as you know the UI design you're going for, a good graphics developer, a good graphics artist will get it done like that. This page here, graphically, can be done in 2 hours. This here actually can be done in 20 minutes. Now, assigning the database to it is an entirely different kettle of fish. But here's the problem: this has already been done in 24. So this screen here we're looking at here is piss easy to implement because you've already implemented it from FM24. So this screen here is an example of where the excuse of the new match engine doesn't hold up, if you get me. But I also don't care enough. My big thing with this is just sloppy. It's still, even with the updates that are being done, when it feels unfinished, if you get me. I'm being a bit mean in terms of game development, but I think you know what I mean. I mean, to each their own. An AT streamer I follow also uses it because it's the same sport. What was that original one? Apparently, Big Sexy. Yeah. Well, yes, but it's a bit disingenuous to say that any differences are because of it being a new engine. But any similarities I could point out just being because it is the same sport, rather than just being similar engine that hasn't been pioneered much. That was a reply to Benny, by the way. Yeah. I mean, even if it was built from the ground up, it's okay to rob stuff from what you've done before. And I don't mind that this game is built from the ground up in Unity. I mind that the stuff they've done to the database isn't enough to be put into it. The women's and men's football being totally different. I haven't played the women's football to end up giving much of an opinion on it. Maybe you can end up confirming it to me, Benny. What's different about it? Like, is there different setups to it? Because otherwise, it's the same database with more columns. And it's just database management. And then, even at that, releasing this game with elements that you had working on previous games isn't good either. Like, the MLS not working isn't good either. I mean, it is kind of funny. That is kind of funny. not having a situation where one of the principles of the game isn't working the way you want it to isn't good enough. Like, to be so detrimentally bad towards the greatest that football has ever seen, Sir Miles Lewis Skelly, is not fair. And as a result of which, just that alone deserves to get the game a -5 stars. But, like, the reason I say they're the same sport is, like, what changes were you expecting to feel new to you? In my particular case, I expected it to be the exact same, and that wasn't my worry about it. The thing that annoyed me about it was the stuff they had promised they were implementing, they didn't. Your one there that you ended up mentioning, I think the big thing I miss is the shouts. I knew they were getting rid of the shouts. The thing is, Miles said when they were getting rid of the shouts, they were implementing a new system instead, because he hated the shouts because they don't actually do anything. They're just there as a subpar moment and don't actually change anything. The fact that he didn't implement anything is a sign of the development problems that I have with this game. You know? It didn't do anything. Shouts never did anything. It just gave you the illusion that it did something. The actual motivation factor of the players didn't do anything in FM24, according to Miles. According to Miles, it didn't do anything. Which is fine, but the fact that it didn't do anything, it felt like it did something, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if something doesn't do anything, so long as it feels like it does something as well, if you get me. Well, in that particular case, they had promised a replacement for shouts. I also expected this match engine to be better. Only thing it did is ruin your players' morale and concentration. Yeah, pretty much, Duff, and you're right there. Like, the thing is, I don't even care that they removed the shouts. I care that they said they were removing the shouts to implement a system better than it. They literally just didn't do it. Like, I've been playing since 19. There's very little difference between 19 and 24. Just slight upgrades that have improved the game, and that's fine. And I expect 26 to be more of the same. Except this match engine isn't worth 3 years of time. That's my problem. Like, I'm more positive on this game than most people are. This match engine is not worth 3 years of time. These UI things are inconsistent and not particularly great to the eye. Like, when you're talking from a UI point of view, the fact that this is chugging, by the way, on my system is not particularly good as well. Like, UI-wise, that's too much white space. That's too much white space. That's not even. That should be even to the edge of this, UI-wise. Those are little inconsistencies that aren't good enough. And maybe I'm expecting too much, but it's what they promised, Benny. You know? And I'm fair enough that I may be expecting too much. But, like, you promised you were going to end up putting in something new to the shout system. You didn't do it. This match engine here is not good enough for 3 years' work, in my opinion. It's this to me looks like something that came out in the PS2, PS3. Of course. But he outright said, we're replacing the shout system to improve it and replace it with something better. That's what he outright said. They outright said, we're removing the shout system so that we can replace it with something better. I already know what I want to replace it with. That's what he said in the interview back in 2023. When people asked him about it. He said we're replacing it with something. And then they just didn't end up putting anything in. Okay, stellar. You've had 2 unbelievable goals today. Beautiful. I don't have a problem with them removing shouts. I have a problem with them removing shouts and not replacing it with anything. After they said they would. That's my point. As for the graphical shit, like, I don't care about it. I genuinely don't care about most of this graphic stuff either. I do think they shot themselves in the foot making it harder to mod the game. I don't know why they done that, knowing the community is behind this game. Like, making it harder to put skins into the game. God damn it. What a horrible concession. What are you doing, Lament or Summons? I'm a wrestling fan, Sexy. I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm used to this. When FM 20, or not, when WWE 20 ended up going to WWE 22, that year when they ended up skipping, they ended up taking away a load of, they end up removing a load of features from it. And, you know, when you're improving the engine, that's fine, that's understandable. The problem is then when you bring back in those elements that were removed and state that these are brand new additions to the game franchise, that's where I disagree with it. When you try to state that something that you removed being added back in is a net improvement, a net positive, that's where I disagree with that one, and that's the issue. Like, what will probably end up happening is in FM 27 they'll add back in the shouts and turn around and add that as a big ass feature. No, you just removed something in order to end up having it as a dangling stick in order to end up improving it, you know? But they chose Unity, Benny. Like, they chose Unity. If it's clunky, that's their fault. They chose it. And also, it's not like Unity is a brand new engine. Unity's been around for years, so unlike Unreal Engine 5, where you're still learning a bit of its chunk, there's no real reason to understand with Unity. But there are new people working on it. It's understandable. But it's, again, it's a text-based simulator. 90% of this game, other than the match engine, is database management. 90% of this game, the actual clunky aspects of Unity won't affect it. For 90% of this game, the only bit of this game where the clunkiness of the Unity engine will affect it is the match engine. I never found it. Did anything because my players were always, woo, let's go for it. I mean, yeah. I mean, my big thing when it comes down to this now is just with the press conference and the whole lot, I just don't know how to get my players excited for games. It's like EA with DICE. No matter what game they make it, DICE. I mean, kinda. Yeah, but the thing too when it comes down to coding, Benny, the differences between C++ and C# aren't as massive as you would assume. It actually isn't that hard to go from coding from C++ to C#. In fact, it's significantly harder to do the reverse. C# is a far nicer language to jump from C++ to than that, because it's basically just a refined version of Java. So I understand what you're saying there, but ironically, that makes it easier for them. Ironically, you've shot that statement you've turned around there where SI's engine was C++ and they're moving to C# is shooting yourself in the foot. That's like turning around saying, oh yeah, I hand screwed in the bolt versus using an electric screwdriver. I'm not trying to be a dick. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the reason why C# is a thing. That's why C# is a thing, so you're just not doing it in Java. It's just I'm using it as a capability for you to know what it's like. Like there's more. Like it's just the closest thing of equivalence. Like C# is a more refined version of C because it's built on C. You know, I think FM27 should be a grand game. I hope it is anyway. It's just if they listen, then we'll see what ends up happening. But it's just I don't think the fact that Unity is in C# versus their engine being C++ is the canon that you think it is, Benny. As a coder. And again, I'll die on the hill that 90% of this game is text-based. It's a text-based simulator. I'll die on that hill. I'll also die on the hill that the development of this game was 3.5 years, and for 3.5 years, this isn't good enough. That's my point. Other than that, like I can understand everything else. I can understand being nice to it. I can understand me being mean to it. I can understand all of that point of view. I think for the most part, this will be fine if it didn't have the riddled amount of bugs that it has. I don't have as much of a problem with the UI as other people end up having. Some of the bits that they've added into it are gorgeous because it's basically what the SAS engine ended up doing in FM24. I just think releasing the game with MLS broken is a joke. Releasing the DLC where moving and again I'll die on this one. Releasing the DLC with the moving player from my club to another club, an integral part of using the goddamn pre-editor if you wanted to use the editor, crashing the game is a big no-no as well. They were sloppy with this game. And it didn't release good enough, and I still think it isn't worth 60 quid. I'm not expecting seamlessness, but that's something that's been in the game. That's not a new feature. And again, until I'm told differently, and I'll happily put my hand up if I'm told differently, this is the exact same database as FM24, only slightly updated. So that particular element for the editor, I don't think has been changed. I think the editor is literally the exact same editor that's been in the game for the past 10 years. Now, I'll hold my hand up and say I'm wrong if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. If you get me. So yeah, most of this game is like every game is kind of like that, but there's no big graphics, there's no big moving around. Everything that's done there is just stored in a text-based simulator. If you get rid of the UI, you can do all of this through text, is basically my point. This is the only bit of the game that you don't have direct implementation over. Everything else is the exact same as it was before Sexy. So, and I think it's the exact same, just updated. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I understand they wanted to make this simplistic to grab, and I'll admit this, they wanted to make this more simplistic to grab the people from FIFA and EAFC. And that's fine. That's a beautiful idea. And it's the right idea to go about because people are angry with that game. I just don't think what they came out with is acceptable. Well, if you're on about new features, if you don't mind me asking, other than that, the tactics menu that has the in and out of possession done, which ironically, most of the stuff that you can do in the out of possession and the in and out of possession, you could do in FM24. It was just a wee bit more restrictive. This is an incredible addition. Okay, I'm not at all going to turn around and say that, but the changes that have been done otherwise are bad as well. Like the staff menu being bad. Still now, and maybe you can tell me now, still now I can't view my under 21, under 18 staff. I still can't see them. If you get me. No bother, Benny. No bother, Benny. I'll chat you later, my friend. Thank you so much for chatting. The game was in it was in a number of streamers got it in alpha for 90 minutes. Then it went into beta for 2 weeks, and the beta had its own issues as well because the big issue with the beta and the way they ended up doing the beta was the final patch, the release patch, happened a day after the release. Which is another problem in of itself. But yeah, what can you really do with it? Like, the sad thing about it is, as an FM game, this is fun. It's a fun game, but it's FM. It's kind of hard not for it to be fun. Yeah, like, it has immense potential in it. It's just, I can't recommend someone buy it at full price at the moment. Like, if I wanted to be really, really, really picky, like bonkersly picky, like, and this is bonkersly picky, the color profile they ended up picking on the UI isn't particularly nice either. Like, this purplish kind of hue isn't particularly nice. The boxes that are being put over these highlights aren't particularly nice either because they're not the same size. Ideally in UI design, if we're being, this is being bonkersly picky. This is being bonkersly picky. This is being too mean, but this is being bonkersly picky. The fact that this Arsenal and Ipswich box is not the same size as the Time is a big no-no in graphics design. Mossman Gamer, thank you so much for the raid. What's a crack-a-lackin', my friend? How did your stream end up going? Was it all going good? I hope it was a good old stream, my friend. Well, there meant no difference between the alpha and the beta. None. The alpha was the beta. Colleague, thank you so much for coming in, my friend. Was it a good stream? Was it a good stream for you, Mossy? I'm guessing you were playing FM 26. What save were you doing, my friend? Also, if you need to raid and run, please do so. It was, mate. Just started the main save. Happy out. So what save are you doing for your main save, if you don't mind me asking? Collie, I'm doing fine. You came in the midst of me having a massive rant about the game. I might need to lurk for a while in a minute, but generally I'm around tonight. No bother, Mossy. Lurk away. This is a lurking friendly stream. I love having people in here lurking and just having the conversation. If you want to have a conversation, have a conversation. If you want to lurk, lurk away. Pleasure to have you, my friend. Yes, we can thank the actually, who ended up giving me the link? I think it was Sexy. Which one of you gave me the link for this? No, it was Maddie. We can thank Maddie for the playlist that's currently going at the moment. If you stay long enough, you can end up recommending tunes as well. Add them into the queue. It's called the All Johns save. We are St. Johnstone and can only sign players and staff called John or a variant like Jean or Juan. You poor individual. That sounds like torture. That sounds like torture, trying to end up doing that. You just need to hope that Rome starts putting out a declaration to everyone in the Catholic and Protestant Empire, turn around saying you have to call your kids John from now on. I haven't now, Sexy, Out of the Park. If you want to end up seeing Out of the Park, go and watch Senior Benny's streams of that. Genuinely, he ends up doing that. I'm not really a baseball fan, unfortunately. So it's not my cup of tea. So I can't really give too much of a comment on it. I need to get into a wee bit more of it, but Benny is absolutely fantastic. Oh yeah, fantastic. Going with the microphone and the whole lot up properly, and this is the way that we end up connecting it all up and the whole lot. Benny is one of the best that ends up coming down to it. Genuinely fantastic bit of crack and the whole lot. It will be okay. It might take a few years to get going. At least we can rename you players if needed. I mean, well, that's going to be something because you're going to bloody need to. Which is the really funny thing about it. I would be keen to play it. All my limited baseball knowledge is from Moneyball, but play any great spreadsheet game. I mean, yeah, no bother, Mossy, no bother whatsoever. Like my like this is where my complaints when it comes down to FM are superficial at best, because I play Pro Wrestling Simulator, and Pro Wrestling Simulator is significantly worse than this. Significantly worse than this. By a wide margin, it's worse than this. But I love Pro Wrestling Simulator. I love it, especially because we have Herb, and Herb ends up making database updates, and you can add in your WWE database. You can add in your AEW database. You can end up making it up to that and do modern stuff if you want to. But that is text-based simulator to the wazoo. There is none of very little interactivity where you see any of the rest of it. You 100% code it and end up going. In fact, Cully, I'll give you a quick showcase of it because I can do it really, really quickly. Because I was surprised by how big the market is for hockey games. Is both SI and the devs of Out of the Park have hockey games. Interesting enough, there's games for everything. Sport is such a massive degree that everyone ends up looking into it, and you kind of have to go into it. Like there's a independent games company here in Ireland that are working on creating a Gaelic game. So like there's stuff for everything. Some of my elements will be broken for a second, by the way. So I'd recommend you don't. I'd recommend you don't use any channel points for the moment. But yeah, this is Pro Wrestling Simulator. Yeah, so this is Pro Wrestling Simulator. Just to give you a quick gawk at it, like it is text-based simulator the wazoo. Because like you see all of the information you ended up doing, how your finances are doing, how your popularity is doing. You can see how the other people ended up doing here. You can toggle the view in order to see whatever elements you're going through. You can end up going down if you have the image packs put into place. You can end up doing that. But booking a show is literally text-based. Like literally text-based. That's fucking hilarious. But you I like this game, which means that my complaints about FM is just I expect more from Sports Interactive because they have done more in their previous games. They have done more, and as a result of which I expect more off of them. Like, this is the UI for Pro Wrestling Simulator. This is worse in every way to what Football Manager has done. In every way. But I expect more from Sports Interactive because they've done more. If you get me. The Gaelic game on PS2 was goated. You could even use club names that could go back to as close to Castlebar. Yeah, well, that's the hope for the new one that they're developing, Collie. That they end up planning to expand it in such a way that you can end up getting people like that as well. I think the big thing with the one that they're trying to develop now is the worry that they won't be able to get licensing due to the GA being quite restrictive at the moment, and issues with that being in worry. But we'll see what ends up happening. It'll be interesting to see what ends up happening with it now. Are you playing anything yourself, Cully? Are you playing out of the park or anything like that? Like Mossy is thinking about doing. I mean, the Gaelic is an interesting sport. I am far more of a fan of rugby than I am for Gaelic. I find Gaelic to be a bit, quite ironically, since they can batter the absolute crap out of each other if they go the right way about it. I find Gaelic to be a little soft. Ironically, I much prefer watching female Gaelic than I do male Gaelic. But to be fair, the female club in my local area is significantly better than the male club. And as a result of which, the locals end up battering 10 shades of shite out of each other. So it is almost like just hacky sack on a pitch. I've been playing Final Fantasy X. I have played only one game on FM26 so far. How have you found the one game that you ended up doing? And how far are you through Final Fantasy X? And what name have you given Titus? Have you been playing much... oh God, what's the name of the water ball? Blitzball, that's it. Have you been playing much Blitzball? Have you gotten many people onto your Blitzball team, Cully? I played Final Fantasy X. I loved Final Fantasy X, and then I discovered the grinding nature of the Dark Aeons and trying to 100% that game, and I decided nope. Just bear with me 1 second. I need to do something really, really quickly, so I'll be back really quickly, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. I don't remember the characters. Blitzball can suck my ass. It's so hard. The first fight with Mr. Seymour, or the one where he becomes, or the one after you find, like, how far are you into the game, Cully? Because I don't want to spoil it, depending on how far you've gone into it. But Seymour is a very interesting character. One of the lucky few that has escaped the FM addiction this year. Oh, yeah. Or continue on with the old one. Chromie, selling. It's unfortunate that your selling of Amat has caused you to lose 4 in a row, and having Mbwemu and Lacey injured is quite annoying as well. You might have to change the. You might have to change your tactics now in order to have something in between for the moment. Where he summons Anima. Ah, okay, so you don't know the twist yet. Fair enough. Continue to play that game there. You haven't had your first interaction yet with Sin, so you'll enjoy that game quite a significant amount. For the size of its market, has quite a big lack of quality games. In the past 10 to 15 years, I really want a good rugby game. It's hard to do a good rugby game, primarily because Madden is so big, the American football game, that getting a company to go into the development of a rugby game, knowing that Madden is there already to compete with you, even though it's a completely different market, you would assume, is a problem. No bother, Cully. Thank you so much for coming in from the raid. It was a pleasure talking to you. Please come back again anytime and we can have a conversation. I'll be live again tomorrow at some particular point in time. If you want to, join the Discord there so you can know when I'm live. Thank you so much for coming in. Make sure your crack is 90. As always, I've been Stupid Sexy Crack. And for yourself, Shlong Gafol and Pug Mahone, my friend. Might as well. No, it might as well be a dry shite at every instance I can. Oh, this is your first time seeing Pug Mahone, Chromie, yeah. Might as well end up using the old Irish slang when I can. Do that. Oh yeah, we have the crack here wherever we can, so, you know, enjoy it and continue to rise with it. Life's too short not to have the crack. Ooh, that's a nice drop. Okay, anyways. Shit. We're now hitting the point that we have too many youths of potential quality. But trying to give them some actual game time might prove to be a problem. Ironically, the position that the weakest in at the moment is goalkeeper, so we might need to look and see if we can get a goalkeeper. Yeah, could you imagine this for the GA? Well, it would be interesting, having a text-based simulator like this for the GA. NFL is so rubbish in my opinion. It's so boring to watch and to play from my numerous experience of trying the game. I mean, but there's a reason for that. Sexy. Like, the reason why NFL seems more than seems boring is because it's specifically set up for American television. And all of the breaks that are implemented in it are for the American television's advertising units. So it's specifically designed to milk advertisings. And you can have your opinion on that one, how you end up feeling about it and the whole lot. But that is legitimately the reason why American football feels so weird and feels so out of place and feels so devoid of character. That's the legitimate reason why they do it. It's for commercials. Whether you agree or disagree with that is an entirely different kettle of fish as to why they do it, or as to whether or not it's right that they do it, but that's the reason for it. That was one of the big worries about football and the move towards having Premier League games or Serie A games or La Liga games over there, was that the Americans would try and put more breaks into it in order to do that. Now, obviously, that hasn't happened because MLS is actually doing well over there and they haven't changed the structure of the game of soccer in order to do so. So it hasn't happened yet, but we'll see what ends up happening. At the end of the day, that to me is the reason why American football feels off as opposed to rugby. I actually like the safety precautions in American football that make it better that way. If that's not the way to end up putting it, but there's more checks and balances in American football, thankfully, because of CPE and the wrestler Chris Benoit, ironically, that they have to put more checks into place for it. Rugby, we're safe in rugby, but rugby is still very dangerous. It's very rare you'll find a rugby player that doesn't have cotton ear or nibbles in their ear, because people literally bite at ears in a ruck in order to get advantages, especially in underground rugby, not obviously not international play. So, like, does that occur in American football? I don't know. I'd have to have someone here as an American to let me know about that. I wish Benny was still here so I could ask him that. But legitimately, that's one of the reasons why American football feels so different and so lacking in the entertainment to rugby. I actually think both of them are very good comparisons with each other. But when it comes down to the actual rugby game, unfortunately, Madden will always just kick the arse of anyone trying to do it. Yeah, the commercialization of it is a bit of a joke. Now, what's really funny about that, the commercialization being a joke, is the fact that college players don't get paid. That's the funnier thing about that particular conundrum, which is the reason why South Park have so many jokes, especially the... the last time I showed a clip on this, I ended up getting a copyright strike on all four platforms. But that was because we ended up looking at Shamrock Rovers getting screwed. So, like, the one thing with American football is this. Give us a second. Has to be done. Has to be done. This has to be done. Come on. This has to be done. Okay, come here. Move to that. Good. Do this. Beautiful. And then for you, we go... Okay, yeah. Like, this is the prime example with American football. And I think, if you know this panel low of that clip so much. Oh, 50, I'll give you 20 for 2 of the whites and 50 for 1 of the blacks. Out of context, by the way, that's going to get me cancelled. Anyway, let's see how we do against the team that Micah Richards cannot pronounce without laughing. How do we do against Brest? Oh, for fuck's sake. I can't get you motivated, but I can get you demotivated. Piss off. Oh, it's unbelievable. South Park is unbelievable in general, though. Even the latest stuff, no matter how you feel about it, like, I think they're overdoing it with the Trump and Satan's baby crap, but, like, it's still funny. I do love, because they got screwed on distribution rights, that they had their shortest season ever. Because they're currently in season 18, where season 17 literally had 4 episodes. I mean, yeah, to be fair, that's probably one of the only times that I've actually had respect for Jamie Carragher. And he turned around and he said something similar as well. He said they're a nice pair, didn't he? Or something similar to that. Also, I love how they haven't fixed this. Disallowed goal still comes up before the VAR check. To be honest, out of everything they've done with Trump, the actual best thing they've done is Melania being the hat in the corner. Just being the... What a goal, Bruno! Oh, what a goal. But Melania literally just... Melania literally just being this is genuinely unbelievable. Like, that's such good commentary, because every time you see her, you never see her face. All you see is the hat. But then again, it makes sense, too. The Book of Mormon is still one of the best plays ever written. I would have loved to have seen that when it was actually being done on Broadway. Wait a minute, why are breasts put down as SB29? He hasn't actually even signed for us yet, Sean, if you'd believe it, Michael. He's been going through loads of paperwork and medical records and the whole lot in order to sign for us, so he hasn't actually even signed for us yet. As funny as that is. We've gone through 4 games since we went to attempt to sign him, and he hasn't actually gone to us yet. Like, it is a complete joke signing, but still. They're going to score. Oh my god. A worldie too, but sometimes you just know when it's coming. They're playing a big pair up top, yep. To just work off of each other, yeah. Like, to be honest, that was, like, you're never going to get moments like that again, and you shouldn't. But it just worked brilliantly for that Champions League season. Like, it's also one of the reasons why I don't get why people have such a problem with Alex Scott. Because she is everything that is needed for Thierry Henry, Micah Richards, and Jamie Carragher to work together. She is the glue that holds that together. Also, stop. Who are we getting to take this penalty? Yeah, screw it. We'll let Ferguson take... he's not even on the pitch. We'll let Sesko take it. But yeah, she's the glue that holds that particular trinity up to work. Now, to be fair, Thierry Henry just has so much... It is Kate Scott, sorry. It is Kate Scott. You're correct. It is Kate Scott. I've been thinking about Alex Scott, the Bournemouth striker, for the longest time, and then Alex Scott has been put onto I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here as well. So you are right. It is Kate Scott. But Kate, she holds that show up to the nines. Now, I do unfortunately think the need to make a change in that Champions League squad, and ironically for me, I think God damn it, Balde is scoring again. Ironically for me, I think you change Micah Richards with Wayne Rooney. I think that's the change you do for a season. But at the end of the day, you don't really need to either. Like, it's just a good connective tissue. they wouldn't really get along without her to create cohesion. Carragher and Micah might, but they don't really, they wouldn't be great co-hosts. I mean, they would be. Ultimately, it wouldn't really matter. They still would be great co-hosts. The big thing when it comes down to Jamie Carragher is Jamie Carragher, when he's left to his own devices and isn't led by the nose, he lets his scouseness come out a bit too much, which is the only problem for Jamie Carragher. When he lets his scoutness just hit the waves a bit too much. But in general, like, they'd be fine. Okay. He's not polished enough for punditry sometimes. That's a way of putting it. That's a way of putting it. I can't disagree with you on that statement. I'm not sure how fair that statement is, but I can't disagree with you on it. Do we not have Doggo on the bench? We do. Good. Cool. Like that one comment he made about Kate Scott that one time, can't remember what it was. He also spat at a girl, so he's probably needs to be refined on etiquette. See, I mean, that's all different kettle of fish. I can't comment on that. I don't know the situation where he spat on someone, but like at the end of the day, he has made some stuff that's made Kate a wee bit awkward, but all of them have done that. Even Thierry Henry has said some stupid crap that's made them feel a wee bit odd. That I wouldn't end up worrying about at all. I just think it ends up connecting up grand. The thing with Jamie that's good with Jamie is Jamie, other than with Liverpool, which, you know, he has the Gary Neville problem that his bias is just far too heavy on his sleeve. Gary Neville's bias is a bit falling enough on the other way, where he's a bit too harsh on United at sometimes, and then when Gary Neville is one of the interesting kettle of fish that his bias swings both ways. He's either really, really harsh on United or he's really positive on United and never in between. It's one of the reasons why Roy Keane is so good, because Roy Keane doesn't give a rat's diddly ass and will just tell you exactly what he thinks. It's kind of why it's a shame that Roy Keane isn't there. And the reason why Micah and Roy work so well with each other is because Roy is everyone's straight man. If you did need to replace her, you'd replace her with Roy Keane. But Roy Keane also isn't a host of a show. He has to be a side piece. Ooh, Evan almost scored there. Like, it's just a well organized and well constituted show, to be fair to them. Really, we're going to end up getting a draw out of this? Come on. Really? I mean, I know this goalkeeper's had a hands of Midas performance, but holy crap. They've had 4 shots on target and 2 of them were goals. Who do you reckon would always remain in the group? Who wouldn't need changing? Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry. Simply because, unlike the other ones, Thierry Henry isn't at other events. He doesn't do other showcases typically. So Thierry Henry is the only unique consistent of that group. Like, if you were to do an amalgamation of the shows that are going down there and you wanted to end up doing it that way, then you go with Thierry Henry, Owen Hargreaves, and someone else. It's hard to really know, unfortunately. And I prefer to have them rot. I genuinely would prefer to have them rot in the under 21s before. God damn it, I didn't want to do that either because I didn't want Casemiro as the vice captain, but whatever. I prefer to have them rot in the under 18s and under 21s and give them a bad loan. We're going to end up getting to our first game versus Brentford, which will be interesting. Malik Fofana, we were at one point thinking about going for him, but that's dead and buried now. Shea Lacey out on loan might be beneficial to him. That's cool. So let's do this. So good. Might not. Ugh, God. I genuinely wish you could just turn around and tell them to piss off when that happened. Now, in theory, the only position we have left that we need to improve upon is goalkeeper. In theory. What? Really? Okay, we'll scout you. Might be purchasing a Borussia Dortmund goalkeeper at 24 years of age. Ooh. Okay, well, let's hope they qualify so we get 55 million for Onana. He might be going back to Inter Milan permanently. I think they have to sign, unless I'm reading that wrong. I think they have to sign him. Future fee upon qualifying. I think they have to sign him if they qualify now. Although we did get Rasmus back, so yeah. It's hard to really know, isn't it? My school did their own little election last year to see who would vote for which UK party. That's interesting. I'm not sure how legal that is. I'm not sure you're allowed to do that. Oh, God damn it. Ooh. Yeah, we're not putting in another bid for him, so you're screwed, my friend. You're screwed, my friend. We put in a bid for you once, and that's it. We're not putting in another bid for you. And then we need to wait and see how the scout comes back from that Borussia Dortmund goalkeeper before we end up putting in the bid for him. It's 20 million for him, so it might be worth just genuinely doing it. Who was that? Arsenal favours versus Ipswich. You'd be thinking so, wouldn't you? Sukama, the signing of the 30-year-old winger. Interesting. PSG went for Samakis. That's an interesting signing. And then proceeded to never release the results, which seemed to be overwhelming reform from the people I asked. No, I understand the ads can end up being annoying. Did they sign Nico? Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, whatever. I mean, everyone has their opinion when it comes down to that type of stuff. It's not really my place to give an opinion. Who are you? 25 years of age, winger. We won't be going for you. Okay. That's us now. We have our first Premier League game coming up. Can we finish the stream in good formations with a good Premier League performance? We'll end up finding that out now as we end up going into it. Especially the lads in older years from voted heavily for reform. Apparently, Farage wants to reduce the minimum wage for those under 21. I mean, the thing when it comes down to the minimum wage, it's an interesting kettle of fish because, like, the higher the minimum wage goes, the more that the price of everything is going to increase. Because ultimately, the big companies are always going to end up taking it back. So inevitably, increasing the minimum wage is a sunk cost fallacy. So you'd almost have to increase the minimum wage while forcing businesses not to relay the difference back to the customers. And there's no way to do that legally. So you're kind of screwed. Also, how much did they end up getting him for? 200,000. Okay, that makes sense. So you're kind of screwed anyway. You don't really have an option. So the minimum wage is an interesting conversation because obviously, inevitably, you want to try and go for social income. That doesn't work either, by the way. But I don't know. The economists and people greater than I, you'll end up figuring that out eventually. It's not for me to give an indication. I mean, it all depends on the people, on the youths. Like, obviously, more money sounds like a good thing. So, not doing it just sounds like you're doing a bad new move. You're doing a move to end up negatively impacting the people. But it all depends too on how you communicate it and how the people end up listening to you. So you never know. Now, interesting that it wants him to be in goals. We're putting the men's in first. And now we need to make our lineup. So we're going to have two defenders. So Shaw is still not fit, so we're not going to use Shaw. So instead of him, we're going to go with Jadou. So we have Jadou there, but we're going to go with Ilya and swap Ilya with Euro. So we're going to go Euro, Ilya, and Delict. We're going to go with Jadou, and instead of Maguire, we're also not going to use Jadou because he's bloody dead. Really? Bloody really, game? Okay, fine. Then in that case... What? Oh, that's why. Okay, so Jadou isn't going to be used and Maguire isn't going to be used. So we need to swap the two of them out with the replacements. So Jadou will be replaced with Willie Kwambala. Thank you for that. And Maguire will be replaced with... Gibson, because at least he can play both of them, and it means we have a bit of cover there. So we'll go Delict, Ilya, Euro. We'll go Menu. So we'll swap. Do we have anyone to swap Ugarte with, or is Ugarte our option? Interesting. Really? Okay. You're out on loan. Okay, that's fascinating. I didn't realize you were better than Ogate. I love that this still isn't working either, so I'm going to pick another person that's probably out on loan. Yeah. Okay, so with that being the case, we'll just keep Ogate. So we have it as Menu and Stiller, but we're going to do that. So we're going to keep that as Ogate as our bench option there. We have Mazraoui, who will be swapped with Ahmad. Konya, Victor, and when there. Mazraoui, we want to swap with someone. Cooley. And then Konya there. Dogu for Cooley, actually. This is the squad we're going to go with. So we're going to go with Sesko up front with Menu and Konya. Mount has been better, but we'll go with that. Rashford, Mbeumo, Stellar, Fernandez, Yoro, Ilya, De Ligt, and Lemens. And as much as I actually would like to do this game, I actually can't. I have to finish up now. So I'll end up leaving it there, everyone. Because unfortunately, I have to head off there and just have to get in a message and I have to head off. So, for everyone that ended up coming in, thank you so much for coming in. It genuinely was a pleasure talking to each and every one of you. You have been an absolute star to end up talking to. I'm going to send you over to a good person of the stream there as well. I'm going to send you over to Digital Owen because it ends up filling out 2 of my esteemed honors. It ends up fulfilling the pizza party conundrum, and Digital is actually a genuinely fantastic streamer in of himself and deserves to have people come over to you. So I'm going to start a raid over to Digital. He's doing Pokemon ZA at the moment. So just say Craic Addicts Attack when we end up joining. But thank you so much, my friend. And it has been an absolute pleasure. I will be live again tomorrow with either this or Shin Megami Tensei 5. But until then, make sure your Craic is 90. Schlongafol. I have been Stupid Sexy Craic, and Pug Mahone, my friends.